Hi, my name is Byimana and I'm competing for Pioneer Olympiad Rwanda 2017. My speech today is about environment. You can wonder what is environment. Etymologically, environment comes from the French word environ, which means the surrounding, and it is defined as the natural surrounding world or a part of a particular geographic area. It is divided into 5 types. The first type is called aquatic environment. This is the place roughly covered 75% by water. The second type is a forest. This is a large mass collection of trees. And the third type is desert. A desert place is a place which receives less than 10 inches of rain per year. The fourth type is grassland. This is a place which receives between 10 to 30 inches of rain per year. And the fifth type, which is the last, is called tundra. This is a very cold place. So environment is greatly being destroyed. In life, we need everything that can make our life comfortable. But as long as we look for it, we miss it, we dry it up from the ground so that we can continue living. For example, to have 1 kilogram of rice, we need 4,000 liters. To have 1 kilogram of Irish potato, we need 1,000 liters. And to have 1 kilogram of meat, we need 13,000 of liters. In our lakes now, there are no longer old fishes. In 1950, there were fished 100,000, 18,000 fishes per year. But until now, it is 100,000 tons of fishes which are being fished each year. 5 times of what was being fished last year. The largest forest in the world, Amazon, has lost its fifth. 1/5 of the land has been lost. Due to what? Due to our agricultural activities. Let's take a good example from the Colorado Lake, supplying its water to Las Vegas. Its water is no longer reaching the sea because of us drying it up from the soil. 1 meter of the Jordan River is decreasing year by year. And now we can conclude that in 15 years ago, 21 million rivers were digged so that we can get water. Among them, their third, which is the 7 rivers in West India, have now dried. A half of the swamps in the world in the last century has dried. Now, because of people pulling up the trees from the soil, these trees are the ones which soak water so that to avoid us floods. But in the last 10 years, 1,240,243 people have died because of those floods. In addition, $1,023 billion have been lost. The water we obtain is from the mountains, but those mountains provide 70% of the water we use. Among those mountains, we have Kilimanjaro and also we have Kalisimbi. 25% of Kilimanjaro snow have disappeared, which means water is being in little amount. This is a mountain being visited by 5,000 people every day. And let's look at our Kalisimbi. Its 90% snow has now disappeared. If we go to Russia, mountains like Himalaya supply lives to 2 billion Asians, and they also supply water to lakes like Ganze, Mekong, and Yangtze-Kiang. We can see that from here, if we look at our life, in 150 years ago, petroleum has been the foundation of life. What if it is no longer there? What could happen? In Burundi recently, when petrol was exported, schools were closed, jobs were closed. You could find lines on petrol stations. So, where is this leading us? This is leading us to a world without petrol because researchers show that in the next century there will no longer be any petrol. This is a world where 2/3 of the all animals will have died. Why? Because we are cutting trees. In tropical rainforest, 80% of the land's area is being occupied by 50% of all animals, and we are cutting them. This is leading us to a world where there is no longer 490 billion US dollars of tourism each year. That is what is expected. And also, there will be many problems. Unemployment will have raised and everything will have raised again. Many problems will be occurring on this world. We will have lost cities due to the soaking up of the trees that soak up water. Cities will sink like Bangladesh. In the Atlantic Ocean, there's an island called Ile de Pâques, an island of Easter. People from that island took every natural resource that was there, exhausted it, and the place became like a desert and they died. This was a place where we could obtain longest palm trees ever to give us palm oil. So you can think the world is being destroyed, we are dying, what can we do? Things are very simple. 65% of Korean land is occupied by forest. Solar rays which are emitted on the earth in 1 hour can supply electricity to the whole world in 1 year. In countries like America, in countries like Germany, New Zealand, and Austria, they are following that example to obtain solar rays so that they can use it in electricity. In countries like Costa Rica, which holds San Jose as its capital, they have no army, neither defense forces. The money in that, they use it to conserve their environment. And also countries like Denmark, 20% of electricity being used, instead of destroying the environment to get it, they use wind energy. This is a country which is facing industries chimney, which emits bad gases and airs. They are facing them down so as not to pollute the air. Why can't we use ethanol, which is combustible, to drive our cars instead of gases which are polluting the environment? For example, in USA, 1 million liters are used each year of ethanol as fuel. In Rio de Janeiro, they obtain ethanol from maize, and they use it very well. Last but not least, every day we found leftovers hanging around all the roads or hanging around in forests and in trees, destroying our environment. In Toronto, 27 trucks of leftovers are driven out of Toronto to make them on the other side of the country to leave them there, which destroys the environment. They include plastic bags and also they destroy the air. Why can't we recycle them to have the coal that we could use and also the charcoal that we could use in our stoves instead of polluting the air? That was my speech about environment and that was my view. Thank you very much.